Hello, everyone, and welcome to my final course reflection for teaching English to young learners. This course has been such a valuable experience, both personally and professionally. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to reflect on my progress, participation, strengths, challenges, and some practical applications of what I've learned. I will also share a personal SWOT analysis and talk about my growth as an emerging English young learner teacher. When the course began, I was both excited and nervous. I've never worked directly with young learners before, and I quickly realized that teaching children is a completely different world. From week one, I tried to stay actively involved in class, participated in group work, contributed to discussion, especially when we were sharing lesson ideas, and really tried to absorb as much as I could from both the theory and practical elements. One of the highlights for me was our micro-teaching sessions. They pushed me out of my comfort zone, but also gave me a space to experiment with activities, voice projection, and classroom instructions. I learned not just from my own teaching, but by observing my classmates and receiving feedbacks. Overall, I'm really proud of how I performed in assignments and assessments. My lesson planning assignment was my strong point. I focused on clear objectives, age-appropriate materials, and incorporated TPR and visual aids. The feedback I received noted that my lesson was well sequenced and engaging. I also did well on the quizzes, especially the ones focused on learning theories like Piaget and Vygotsky, which helped me understand how cognitive development connects to language learning. One area that didn't go as smoothly was the classroom observation report. I described what I saw well, but I didn't make strong enough connection to theory. That was a learning moment. Description is only half the job. Analysis is what matters more. What went well? I felt confident designing lessons that fit the needs and interests of young learners. I incorporated a lot of creativity, like using storytellings, visual props. Time management was a strength throughout the course. I never missed the deadline, and during micro-teaching, I was able to keep activities well-paced and on schedule. What about weak points of me was classroom management strategies, which were harder for me. In theory, they made sense, but during practice, I wasn't always sure how to redirect behavior without losing the flow of the lesson. I also noticed that when I got nervous, I relied too much on instructions and not enough on interaction. That's something I plan to work on going forward. I had a great opportunity to apply some of what I learned in a real-life setting. I worked at an online English courses on weekends where I worked with kids aged 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I used songs, flashcards, online flashcards, and movement activities from our course. Seeing the kids respond with excitement made everything feel so real and rewarding. One thing I learned from that experience was how useful L1, my Kazakh language, can be, especially when explaining rules or giving feedback. I initially tried to avoid L1 completely, but in practice, I found that brief, purposeful use of L1 helped reduce confusion and lowered anxiety. I want to keep finding the right balance between maximizing English exposure and using L1 when necessary to support learning. My dad's name is Pierre, What does it mean, this sentence? Это имя вашего отца, да? Точнее, отца Марты. Окей, дальше.
Он из Франции.
Ага.
И он разговаривает по-английски и по-французскому.
Okay.
Когда он был молодым, моя мама
Exchange. Не экзамен сдавать, exchange. Обмен. Запишите. Exchange, обмен. Студент по обмену. Student exchange, студент по обмену. Сейчас я постараюсь объяснить своему студенту present perfect. Okay. Now we start to learn about the new tense. It will be about present perfect.
Okay.
The present perfect is used when something happened in the past, yeah? But it's also still important now. For example, I have one area I really enjoyed exploring was gamification. I created a board game to practice vocabulary with color-coded cards in challenge spaces. I also used online tools like Wordle to turn review sessions into something fun and competitive. Yeah, my classmates stayed focused way longer than they did during traditional drills. Outside of class, I joined an online English young learner teaching group where I found lesson ideas and shared a few of my own. I even started building a small folder of printable games and activities for future use, just so I'm not starting from scratch when I walk into a real classroom one day. I also recorded myself giving classroom instructions to improve my tone, clarity, and natural use of classroom English, like listen carefully, repeat after me, can you show me, and good job, etc. Okay, let's talk about a SWOT analysis of myself as a future English young learner teacher. Let's talk about the strengths: solid lesson planning, creative, playful mindset suitable for young learners, strong time management and task organization. And what about weaknesses? Still developing classroom management, confidence. Sometimes really too much on teacher talk. Yeah, need to improve comfort with spontaneity during lessons. And opportunities. Yeah. I don't know what I need to say. Maybe more exposure to volunteering or internships. Yeah. Continuing development of digital tools and gamified resources. Learning more about bilingual classrooms and L1 strategies. What about threats? Lack of formal teaching experience. That is the first one. Yeah. Over planning, which could limit flexibility in a real classroom, and occasional imposter syndrome when comparing myself to others. And looking back, I've grown not just in knowledge, but in self-awareness, in teaching readiness. Teaching English to young learners wasn't just a course, it helped me build the foundation of the teacher. I want to be creative, thoughtful, well-prepared, and always learning. Thank you to my instructors, Mrs. Karim Sultanat, classmates, and all the children I had the chance to teach or observe. This has been a meaningful step in my journey, and I'm excited for what comes next. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.